You like movies?
Yeah, I like movies.
So do the boys on We Doing Filmographies.
What is...
As they crank out episodes on rad actors they like, you can discover that Ray Liotta's first role has him doing a bad thing with a hose.
Are you talking to me, though?
Or how in Ding-a-Ling List, Robert Longstreet donates his penis to his penisless best friend.
Kind of feel like you're doing...
Does that sound pretty cool?
Yeah.
Not as cool as Brad Pitt seeing his reflection for the first time and saying he looks like Mother.
Okay, I don't know what...
Tune in to We Doing Filmographies podcast on all podcast platforms and listen to Jason and Jules wade through garbage, gold, and boredom one movie at a time.
Wait, us?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what we doing filmographies.
So, would you like to jump in the time machine and go back to the 80s?
Yes, back to 1986.
1986.
The Chris and Chris Show.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the Chris and Chris Show. I'm Chris with a Cobra C.
I'm Chris with a Karate Kid. Okay.
Part 2.
Well, yeah.
The only time I've ever used the sequel for a K, maybe.
Yeah, it still works.
So yeah, we're doing another one of our year-end review shows. We're going back now, because I think the earliest we ever did was 87. So we're going to do it in 1986.
Can't believe we haven't done 86, considering it's quite a banner year, really, for a lot of things.
It is, yeah. Yeah, we need to do, finish the 80s pretty much.
Yeah.
Because there's, it's a decade, there's a lot to talk about in each year, pretty much. So yeah, just no real things to get to beforehand. Just wanted to mention that David Emge from Dawn of the Dead, Flyboy, passed away either yesterday or the day before.
Very sad.
He's 77. That's super old these days.
No.
But apparently he'd been ill for a while, and yeah.
Well, probably since he got bit by that zombie.
Probably. Yeah, he's like the first one of the main cast to go.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday, weren't we? Yeah, I honestly thought maybe there would have been one or two more of them that have already passed away. But
No. Just him and Romero, really. Yeah. Very sad, though.
The Chris and Chris Show.
So yeah, 1986. Where would you like to start? Was 1986?
Well, what a turbulent time. Ronald Reagan and Maggie Thatcher in control of the countries.
Oh yeah.
Which probably, I don't know, it was a funny time, wasn't it? A lot of angst in movies back then. A lot of angry films looking down the list. A lot of action and stuff. So, shall we start with action?
Start with action. We shall. Well, we'll start with Arnie's film of the year, which is probably my least favourite of Arnie's 80s period.
Yeah.
You know what? It's Raw Deal. It's the one I don't think I've actually ever watched from start to finish. I always get a bit bored.
Yeah, it's because it's a weird one because it has you'd think an interesting hook, that fish out of water sort of element. Although no shit, I'm thinking of Red Heat.
Yeah, you're thinking of Red Heat. Yeah.
Raw Deal's the one where he's got the slick hair.
Yeah, that's always the one I remember. It's just it's weird slick hair, Arnie.
So I suppose I'll reverse that. What is the hook of Raw Deal, really? I suppose that's his problem, really. It's kind of generic. Yeah. Really? Yeah. Yeah, in my head, I'm like those dodgy Arnie films that both begin with an R.
Hey, what's dodgy about Red Heat?
I don't know. Because what I was going to say is that has a hook. About the fish out water stuff, but again, it has some ropey bits to it. I feel that movie.
I like Red Heat.
It's just not quite there. There's something. It needed more time in the oven. As a film.
I mean, it's not it's not up there with Total Recall, or Predator, or Terminator. But as far as B tier Arnie, it's good.
Yeah.
And I've always been a Jim Belushi fan, so it's nice seeing them too as a comedy cop double act and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, not really much to say about Raw Deal. So.
No, like I said, it hasn't really got much going for it, apart from It's got Arnie in it, but boring.
You know what? We need to add that to the list of like films to review. It'll give you a chance to reappraise it, maybe.
Yeah, you never know. I'm always up for going back to films. You never know, like how your view can change over the years.
I'm pretty sure it'll be a first-time watch for me. I don't think I've seen it start to finish.
You just watch the action scenes, basically.
Probably, yeah.
The end bit. Is there an end bit where he's driving around like?
That's what I remember him driving a car with a
something?
machine gun.
Yeah,
Or something like shooting out the window. Yeah. And Robert Davi's in it. Next one, probably, well, it is just spoilers for later, but it was the biggest film of the year, highest grossing movie in the world that year, Top Gun.
Yeah.
It's again another film I've never really seen from start to finish because I never liked it. Like growing up, I would always see bits of it and be like, "This isn't for me. I'm not a fan."
Plus, it's just one of them things where it was a brother and dad film.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I don't give two shits about planes.
Yeah. I think I watched it recently, and it is a good film. Obviously, it's very well made and stuff. And
I'm going to have to force myself to watch it stuff because I love Tony Scott, and it's like the only big Tony Scott movie I've never seen.
Yeah.
So yeah, the cracking soundtrack though. I've always loved the soundtrack.
Yeah, and it's you can't deny it's like impact at the time and stuff, and just fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
And off the back of it, it's it spawned plane movies for a couple of years, those like low budget ones.
Was it Iron Eagle was one I always remember my dad liked as well as Top Gun. Yeah. It's just mad that it took them that long. I know they've been kind of talking about it since the 90s, maybe doing a Top Gun sequel, but it took a long friggin' time.
Yeah, weird. I guess he really was waiting for the right script or something. Before he wanted to do it.
I'm sure he could have, it's obviously the biggest movie of the year. Probably the next year they were friggin' asking him about Top Gun 2. He probably went, nah, the script.
Yeah.
Because I think there was a few scripts over the years floating around, wasn't there, for Top Gun 2?
Yeah.
Highlander. Would you consider? I guess there's a few of these I wouldn't necessarily consider action, but I included them anyway. Highlander.
Yeah. It is
an action movie.
I was doing that. I was writing categories, and I was thinking action, fantasy, kind of sci-fi. Kind of fits into a few, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Highlander. Highlander. I was reminded looking at the box office and stuff how badly Highlander did. Really. Didn't really get a look in on the charts.
Sorry, I had this noted down because I wasn't sure how we were going to do this, but Raw Deal finished 54th of the year. Oh. Do you want to know what 53 was?
Highlander?
Howard the Duck.
Oh, shit. Oh, no, where's Highlander on that list then?
Oh, I don't know. I only noted that
is it all the way down?
It must be.
I think it is, I think it's it's just one of them films that, it did a lot better maybe once it got the video, I guess. I mean, I'm saying that without any sort of prior research or knowledge, but the Queen soundtrack obviously massively helped.
Oh yeah.
Certainly in the UK and stuff, because Queen was massive. I mean, it was worldwide massive, but in the charts and stuff.
Yeah.
So it massively helped.
Yeah, mid-80s was, I know they were huge in the 70s, but mid-80s was peak Queen as far as popularity goes, with the radio hits and stuff like that, the Wembley
definitely.
gigs. Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm sure, I don't think Highlander had a massive budget, so I'm sure compared to its budget, it was a success. I'm sure it made a profit. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it secured itself a sequel and stuff, and
Unfortunately.
we should do the Highlander.
I was going to say we should, because I really want to watch the second one again, because I've only got memories of what I thought of it as a kid, and I was just I wasn't paying attention to how wanky the story was. I was just it's fun. Yeah. I like Highlander too. I'll be curious to see what I think of it now.
Just really, really ropey. Really bad.
Next one, a movie. I don't know if you've seen this one. We probably would have reviewed it if you had. Running Scared with Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines. A good buddy cop movie.
No.
We should do that sometime. I would like to see that again. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
Big Trouble in Little China, of course, the John Carpenter movie of the year.
Yeah.
And another one of these notorious kind of flops because Fox were just we don't know how to market it, so whatever.
Yeah, because I suppose, it is one of them films where it's comedy, action, horror,
martial arts.
Yeah, it fits in all different genres. Yeah. Very deliberately so. I think, John Carpenter wanted to make a movie that did a bit of everything, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shame. It's such a easy movie to watch, to be honest.
It's easily Carpenter's most fun movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's that film where he says it's just really sad when he says on the commentary that he had people he was talking to people. Someone rang him up like the weekend the film came out or something and was like, "Oh, what happened to that movie? When's it coming out?" And he's like, "It's out."
Oh God. Yeah, that's not what a director wants.
No, it's not what you want to hear. Yeah.
Fuck's sake. What a scandal.
Cobra. Another film I've not seen a lot. I like it. I like Cobra.
Yeah.
But
Pizza scissors.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's all I'll say about Cobra.
Yeah. And his ridiculous car and his cowboy boot looking like George Michael and stuff.
It's visually and stuff. There's some great stuff about it. Like, obviously, love the poster, love his look in the movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's ridiculously 80s.
Yeah, well, this is it, and like moving on to like, I don't think it's a negative, but it really leads into the like. What's the word I'm looking for? Like loose cannon sort of vibe.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure there's it's been a while, but there's a scene early in the movie where like the Chiefs tune him out or something, and it's just like, oh,
all the cliches are there.
Yeah. Kind of struggles in the third act from memory. Kind of. It slows down. I'm sure that they like end up going on the road or something, and there's just a whole chunk of the movie where like, ooh, yeah, it's like lost its pace a bit.
I would like to say that I don't think it'll ever come out, but there was so much cut out of Cobra, like ridiculously shocking violence. Apparently, like the scenes with the bad guy killing people were full on like a gore movie.
Yeah,
and then they just trimmed it down. And there's a work print somewhere that someone's looking for. Someone has probably in like the fucking basement in a cardboard box somewhere.
One day we'll get the Stallone cut of the movie.
Of course, the most interesting thing about Cobra is that it's basically his rewritten version of Beverly Hills Cop that he wanted to do. That he just went off and did this instead. Yeah. Because he just offered him Beverly Hills Cop, and he just went, "Yeah, I just want to rewrite it a bit," and just wrote in like ridiculously expensive action sequences. And I'm like, no,
we're not doing that.
Yeah. Speaking of Eddie Murphy, The Golden Child in '86, his follow-up to would it be Beverly Hills Cop? Yeah, I guess it would be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a film I've not seen a great deal, to be honest.
It was a favourite of mine. It was a favourite of mine when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's another one of them films that was like fucking everywhere. Like when I think back to like my childhood and video shops, I just always remember seeing the Golden Child poster.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
everywhere.
that and the Cobra poster.
Yeah.
I think the Cobra poster was in Revolver's video for about 8 years.
Yeah,
so maybe the Golden Child one was as well.
Just there when it shut, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was all like sun bleached by the start of the '90s and stuff.
Had to squint to tell what it was. And stuff. But yeah, you just can't beat those kind of posters, really. Where it's just like the main guy, and it's like pretty much a full body shot, and there's something going on in the background, and it just gives you enough to be like, ooh, that looks interesting. I don't think it did super well, Golden Child, for Eddie. I think it was like it wasn't a flop, but I think it was the first one of his movies that kind of underperformed a little bit. Yeah, it's interesting that like Golden Child and Big Trouble in Little China kind of underperformed. Yeah,
and I always consider them like a nice. They kind of complement each other. They're kind of similar in vibe and stuff. Yeah. And I think I have read as well that they offered Golden Child to John Carpenter, which is even weirder. Yeah, I guess
just like people weren't ready at that point, or that people weren't interested in like Asian culture, or so that they were just put off. Or something. I don't know. It's a theory, but
Murphy's Law, Charles Bronson movie. Have you seen Murphy's Law? We need to do more Bronson on the show.
I know, we've talked about this before.
Yeah. It's a fun one. He's like shackled with like a mouthy teenage girl who just has some horrendous dialogue.
Oh no!
It's like it's kind of funny, but I'd love to know how old the screenwriter was, because it sounds like a 60-year-old man writing what he thinks kids sound like. It's just all like, piss off, barf head, and stuff like that. And you're like, what? No one's ever said that in their life.
Yeah, that'll definitely be what that is.
It's like, get out my face, fart nose. You're like, oh, Jesus.
And the actors are just like going along with it. They're like reading it, going, oh, God.
Bronson is like, is this what the kids sound like today? The movie I have seen for a long time though, the Rutger Hauer movie Wanted Dead or Alive. That's another video shop poster, isn't it? Him with the gun and the leather.
Yeah. I made note of this one on my list. I was watching the trailer before it came online, and what a nice trailer. Yeah, it's just something about it's all like,
it's a classic. You've got to have the moi.
And there's just a guy, he's like, this summer and stuff. He's a bounty hunter.
Yeah. So, it's like it's a sort of sequel to an old TV show, isn't it? He's playing like the son. Is it Steve McQueen TV show? It's something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I have seen it, but
I've seen
like,
it. Yeah,
many years ago.
It was
though.
probably like 8 when I last watched it, but yeah, that's another one for the list.
Yeah, definitely. We should just do like off-piste kind of action films, you know, that are kind of
not the big hitters from the 80s, the little hidden gems. Yeah. Yeah, that's another good thing about doing this show is we always remind ourselves of shit we should really cover on the show.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's pretty much all I had for action. Did you have any I missed that you wanted to mention?
The only others, obviously, FX.
I was gonna put down FX because I know you're a big fan of Brian Brown and Brian Dennehy.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about Dennehy, but I fucking love that guy in the 80s.
I do love Dennehy. I wish Dennehy was like my uncle.
Yeah, totally. Fucking, and he's like showing you how to shoot a rifle or something at the weekend.
But then teaching you how to be responsible about it.
Yeah, exactly. He would.
Yeah. I always liked those TV movies he did as that Jack Reed cop character.
Oh yeah.
Just great pot boiler TV movies.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it was about it. FX and FX, even the sequel, FX2 or whatever.
The Deadly Art of Illusion. That's one of the best subtitles ever for a movie.
It just sounds like a Shannon Tweed movie.
It yeah, if it wasn't FX2, you'd be like, that's Shannon Tweed, surely.
But yeah, cool movies, to be fair. And not that I've seen it, but I suppose we should mention the Delta Force. Obviously, Chuck Norris.
Yeah, I've only ever seen Delta Force 2.
Yeah, it's one of them sequel movies, isn't it? Really, let's face it.
I mean, such a fucking dad movie though. Delta Force, Chuck Norris and Lee Marvin.
Yeah.
And Robert Foster's the bad guy in that. Actually, he plays like an Egyptian or something.
Yeah, maybe we should do some Chuck Norris as well.
We probably should.
But yeah, although I suppose actually as well, one last thing, although I'm not massively interested, but Platoon obviously was a massive hit for 86.
Yeah, I've got that other.
Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? Like drama.
It's a war movie. War movies aren't action movies. I'm very specific about this. I'm sorry.
So there you go. That's action.
Sci-fi is quite a short list, really.
Oh, did you think? Oh,
well, maybe you've got more. I just picked out the ones that popped out first. Short Circuit.
Yes.
It's fun. I like Short Circuit.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen it, though. I think whenever I remember Short Circuit, I'm always remembering the second one. I must have watched the second one more as a kid or something.
Yeah, where they go to the city and they've obviously got that guy who's pretending to be Indian.
He's in both, isn't he?
I think he might be from memory, but I don't know. The sequel's much more maligned. I don't know why. I think he ramps up his impression. I think the movie makers, the financial backers, whatever, were like that. Do more of that.
I'm pretty sure I'm sure I saw something with him recently because he directed that Beckham's series on Netflix. Yeah. So he's been doing a lot of interviews recently. I think someone asked him about the Short Circuit thing, and apparently I think when he was cast, the character was not Indian. And then it got to film and they were like, "We want you to do it with an Indian accent." And he was like, "Why?"
God.
Classic Hollywood. We did a survey and we've discovered Indian people really want to see movies with robots. So like some weird thing like that, won't it be?
Yeah, it'll just probably be like to an American audience in like in the 80s. It was just alien enough. Like, he's an Indian scientist or something. You know what I mean? It's exotic.
It's a bit more exotic, yeah.
Yeah. It's such a weird choice, but I think overall like the design of the robot and stuff's like iconic as fuck.
Oh yeah,
and you can't like deny that. Like.
And the voice. Who does the voice? Does anyone notable do the voice of Johnny Five?
I'm trying to think. Tim something or other.
I was just curious if he was like known for doing any specific characters.
Tim Blaney. I'm tempted to say. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think he's like done voice work and stuff on other things. I don't know what that always sticks in my head. I'm always looking out for a collectible like Johnny Five, basically.
Yeah, I'm amazed no one's ever done that. I guess it would be quite technical, a lot of moving parts if you want to do it good. You know?
Yeah, like make it out of metal and stuff. And that.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously Steve Guttenberg. Shout out.
The Goots. Yeah.
As well, big movie fan.
Ali Sheedy as well.
Yeah, it's quite a mad cast, really. Like 80s people, basically.
Oh yeah. Great 80s
very
cast.
much so.
I miss Ali. Where's Ali Sheedy these days?
Yeah.
I always liked Ali Sheedy.
Yeah. In the 80s.
Which is still in the 80s.
Yes.
It got in 89, she was just like, fuck off.
I'm staying here with me fucking ankle-high socks.
Yep.
And me neon colours.
Me baggy jumpers. Yeah. Speaking of other like sci-fi family movies with a iconic voice, Flight the Navigator.
Yeah, well, that's on my list. Yeah, definitely. I fucking loved that film as a kid.
Oh, me too. I watched it so much. Yeah.
Just proper fodder. Yeah, just like child fantasy stuff. You know, going on a cool adventure with an alien ship and stuff.
Just the whole part though, like I wouldn't know what I would feel about it now, but I just remember the part when he comes home and everyone's older and shit. And he's been missing for years. That always like freaked me out when I was a kid. Like it kind of unsettled me a lot. I was like, this isn't fun.
Yeah, no, it has a bit of a dark sort of feel to it. Like,
yeah,
and he kind of deals with some heavy stuff, basically.
Yeah. That'd be a fun one to rewatch again.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we should definitely watch that. Like I've watched it recently and enjoyed it like just as much, to be honest.
Is it Paul Rubens doing the voice like Pee-wee?
Yes, it is. Yeah, doing the ship.
Yeah.
I think in my head, I like Freddie Mercury the shit out of this film sometimes, and I always think Judge Reinhold does the voice for some reason.
That morose little voice. Hey, let's go fly.
Yeah, I always look at the credits and go, oh, it's not Judge Reinhold. Don't know why.
What, even while watching it, you're like, that's Judge Reinhold.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It takes us like a minute. So weird, fucking stupid brain.
Yeah, if anyone's not aware, we've mentioned this a few times, but if it's your first show, Chris, when he was a kid, thought Freddie Mercury was in Highlander.
Yeah, to bring her back to Highlander. Yeah. I was convinced. I was like, yeah, the bit where he's in the alleyway and he's got the Uzi and stuff and he's like in a sports car.
And then watched it after not watching it for a while. I was like, this guy.
Yeah, I was
remember, it's just some fat bald guy. I'm like, why did you think that was Freddie Mercury?
Yeah, weird. I think I probably I must have watched it and then somebody changed the channel to like a Queen concert or something.
Yeah, probably. Weird Mandela effect. Yeah. Let's just get this out of the way. Howard the Duck.
Ugh. You know my feelings of this.
Yeah, we talked about it a few weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah. I'd never seen it, and I just couldn't get through it. It was like, it's rare that I can't get through movies. To be honest, I'll always finish movies generally. But I was 40 minutes in, and even Leah Thompson wasn't enough to keep us going.
I was gonna say she's mighty fine in that movie.
She is.
It's not enough, is it really?
No. It's just who was that film for?
I don't know.
A weird one.
I don't know, because it's got stuff in it. Like, obviously the design, because he doesn't look like the Howard the Duck from the comics. No. He's a lot cuter. So obviously the design is meant to aim towards kids. Yeah. But he's like a fucking skeezy little shit, and there's duck tits in it and stuff. I mean, I don't get it.
Yeah. It's like the movie sets its stall out. It's like, this is going to be adult jokes and duck tits and stuff. And then the rest of the movie isn't like that anyway.
No.
So it's really strange. It's like they didn't know what they wanted to do, and they were just filming shit and slapping it together or something. I don't know. Yeah. Weird.
It's bizarre.
But it's one of them films that some people try and forcefully resurrect it as this cult classic.
It does have its following. Yeah. Either weird. Ironically or not, it does have its following.
Yeah. Weird.
I said I watched it a few times when I was a kid, and I did like it, but I don't think I've seen it since.
Maybe it's just one of them films that hasn't aged, or you needed to have watched it at the time, I guess.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I can't imagine what it would be like. Like you said, you're in your 40s watching it for the first time.
Weird. Getting annoyed and frustrated at it.
Speaking of not annoying and frustrating, Star Trek 4: The Voyage Home. My personal favourite, I would say, Star Trek, the original Trek movie. I've seen.
It's very much like an entryway, sort of an entry to the series for some people. It's like the one with the whales. Yeah, a lot of humour and stuff. What's not to like about the movie, really? It's like a good time.
It's one of those perfect Sunday afternoon movies. Isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a cosy movie.
Yeah, you see it on TV and you're like, ooh, let's see this in a while. Sit down and watch this. I would probably say it's high up there for me, second or third favourite Star Trek movie, to be fair. So
it's very good. And I was speaking before about Eddie Murphy, that we talked about during a review a few years ago. Eddie Murphy was offered a role in Star Trek 4, which would have been insane.
Yeah, Christ. In some ways, thank God it didn't happen, because it would just be too jarring.
Well, I mean, think about it though. that would have been like a huge film for him that year. Except apart from like with not doing if he did it instead of Golden Child, it would have added a fuckload of revenue to Star Trek with Eddie Murphy being in it, like biggest star in the world at that point.
Yeah.
But now would be looking at it and going, oh yeah, remember that time Eddie Murphy was in Star Trek? But thinking about it now, you're like, I just can't picture it.
Yeah. Too weird.
Yeah, and plus I think people might have been disappointed because they'd be expecting some like sass and a few motherfuckers from him, and you can't get that in a Star Trek movie.
He's like, you'd be expecting to like put bananas in the back of like spaceships and stuff.
Oh, bananas.
That was like in the Clerks. Is it Clerks cartoon?
Like Judge Reinhold keeps having the recurring dream that he's with Axel, putting bananas in tailpipes. And lastly, on my list anyway, Aliens. Decent sequel, decent.
It's not bad. They did some interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Thought the subsequent movies were much better, obviously.
Yeah, especially Resurrection. Hates to just joke about that.
No, it does. It's, as I always say, the Aliens franchise ain't been good since 86.
1986, the year Aliens died.
Fucking hurts to say that, but it's the truth. I'm sorry. Well, at least in my opinion, I should add. I'm sure there's a lot of people love the other movies, but yeah. What can I say? It's out in 4K like this year. Looking forward to getting it on Blu-ray, I guess. Give it another watch. It's probably like my most rewatched movie, to be fair.
It's probably your favourite movie.
Yeah. It is. Admittedly, it's one of the movies where it's tough to really put Alien above Aliens, and vice versa. I'm like, well, which one's the better movie? It's like, wow, apples and oranges. Yeah. You know, like, should one of those movies be put above the other? They're very different.
Yeah, you know, because we did do like an Aliens whole show, like a fucking 3-hour long show on the Aliens franchise years ago. Back when it was still called Wafoo FM, I think.
Jesus.
And that show's gone now. Like, it's disappeared because all them shows got deleted. So, you know, that's something to think about for this year. Maybe doing that again. Doing a big... I'm not doing the fucking Prometheus on once. We'll just do the original 4. That'll do.
Yeah, stop at 4. Yeah, I would be up for that, definitely, yeah.
And then do, like, a Predator show or something.
Predator, 1 and 2, definitely. Yeah, and then, like, capsule the rest.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's no more, was there?
I don't think they did any, no.
Although I didn't get around to watching Prey. I know you said that was... Did you like that?
Yeah, it was like a safe, easy, good movie. You know, it's one of them where it doesn't really do anything to push the franchise forward or anything. No. It was okay. Yeah, it's good.
So what else did I miss on sci-fi?
Well, actually, no, you covered more than I thought you were going to be fair. The only other one that I kind of have on, but we'll maybe save it till we get to horror, is The Fly.
Yeah, that was going to be my next one, because I was going to go to horror. So yeah, The Fly, David Cronenberg's remake. It's a very good film. It's you know, it's always one of those when people want to defend a remake or like throw up an example of a good remake, they'll say The Fly and The Thing.
Yeah.
And the Fly, it's gross though. It's a gross.
Yeah, it's a film, as I always talk about, that like has this uneasiness to it again. Like there's just something about the way it's filmed and the way people are acting and stuff. There's just something unnerving about the movie. It's in its genes, basically.
I think when I first saw The Fly when I was really young, it kind of like freaked us out how gross and gory it was. For some reason, I wasn't expecting a big mainstream movie with like people I recognised in it to be that unsettling. And just, I remember eating a burger during the bit where she gives birth to the fly larvae, and I was like, "Fuck off!" And I literally had to put my food down. It's the first time I've ever had to stop eating during a movie because I was like, I feel sick.
There's a lot of KY jelly in that movie and stuff getting chucked around.
Yeah,
the bit when he like vomits on his leg or something.
Yeah,
it's like Jesus Christ. And the technology feels like fucking dangerous as well. I think there's something about the way they do. It's not like fantastical. It's like it's a machine and it's a prototype and it's fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
And because of that, like he goes through like the most horrific thing ever. It's just like a mad feeling to it, that film.
Did we figure out if the baboon in that is Shackman?
Yeah, I still remember we did look, didn't we? But
because there was a couple of movies he was in, like sort of B-movie, like action movies, but I'm not sure if it's like The Fly's one of them as well. If it is, he's the hardest working baboon in show business in the 80s.
Just gets around. Yeah.
Sequels, Psycho 3. It's fine. It's not as good as Psycho 2. Psycho 2 is like one of the better like sequels of the 80s, I would say, horror sequels.
Yeah, I think with Psycho, there's like equally diminishing returns. Like it doesn't like drop off immediately. It's not like 3 is immediately shit or anything.
No.
But it's just, they slowly get worse as you go through the franchise, basically.
Yeah, it's just its main crime is it just follows 2.
Yeah.
And that's just such a solid like sequel and a solid idea to do a sequel. Like for a sequel, it's like, how many years was it later? Like 20 odd years?
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Poltergeist 2.
Mm.
That's just, for me, that's a superior sequel. I much prefer Poltergeist 2 over Poltergeist.
Yeah, I mean, probably we're both the same. Like, just for that scene where he vomits the worm and they use an amputee to do the gag.
Worm vomiting, that fucking thing that with the no arms and legs and the cane at the door screaming "let me in," just nightmare fucking fuel.
Yeah. I do like that they lent more into that sort of creepy vibe and stuff, rather because I always forget how fantastical Poltergeist 1 is.
Yeah, the first one, like, I don't blame people for believing that story that Spielberg pretty much directed that, because it does feel very much like very Spielberg, the first one.
Yeah, family orientated. It's all about the family dynamic, and like I said, fantastical. There's bits where it's all like,
I mean, there is some messed up shit in the first one, though. Like that scene where the guy pulls all his face off and stuff. Like that's it. It kind of comes out of nowhere.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, is it braces? Is there braces bit in that, or is that the sequel?
Yeah, like his braces like engulf his head and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, Poltergeist 2 is great. We should probably cover that again. That at some point. Not 3 though. We'll just do 2.
Well, maybe just do horror sequels, like as in the number 2 rather than threequels and stuff. Just do horror number 2s. Pick out the best of the bunch.
Because 3's a chore to get through, from what I remember. Yeah.
Is that the one with the bloody skyscraper and stuff?
Yeah, well, like Nancy Allen and stuff.
Yeah.
Demons 2. Have you seen the Demons movies? The Italian Demons movies?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen the first one at least. Yeah.
The second one's fun. Not as good as the first one, but instead of a cinema, it's like a high-rise apartment building. It's got some freaky moments in it. There's a cool bit where a demon comes out of a TV, like Ring, which is still very unsettling. It's fun though. Once again though, I don't watch those films a lot, but whenever I do rewatch them, I always forget how insanely gory they are.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't beat practical effects back then though, and I think there was a lot of talent who were chomping at a bit to prove themselves. So a lot of these movies were elevated because of that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's just Demons has that type of gore that's gross. It makes you want to shower because everyone's drooling and shit. I hate drooly monsters in movies.
Yeah,
very gross. The Friday the 13th movie that year, of course, Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, where they brought him back after everyone was like, "Fuck's this" with Part 5.
Yeah,
idiots, because Part 5's one of the best ones.
It tried something at least.
Something. That's what I was saying about 5. It's probably the most original one of the lot of them.
Yeah.
It's not set at Crystal Lake. Jason's not in it.
Yeah. They're trying to. Like I said, literally trying to do something different with the franchise.
They got a porn director.
Yeah. That's some mental dialogue in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, people just wanted the hockey mask and.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably pivoted in the right direction. I do love Part 5, Jason, but once he starts becoming zombie Jason and stuff, it's this is proper Jason now for me.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, and it's you're right though. It's they had to go somewhere. They had to bring him back to life. So it's well, he's a zombie now.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of fun in Part 6. Part 6 is one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
It's definitely the most, it feels the most 80s and fun, what with, the Alice Cooper soundtrack and...
So, the Michael Jackson dressed-up guy, is that Part 6? I think
no, that's 5.
Oh, is that 5 as well?
The guy that gets killed in the shithouse.
Oh, yeah, I'm merging me 5 and 6s.
Yeah. But yeah, I like Part 6 a lot. And you and Stacey got me the books to kill Jason for Christmas, which was an insane present.
Yes, it was a 4-5 year piece of work.
That's insane.
To collate them all.
Next, we've reviewed this just a couple of weeks ago. A few months ago, I guess. Night of the Creeps, also 1986. Very fun movie.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Have you seen Rawhead Rex, one of the earlier Clive Barker adapted movies?
No, but the only thing I know about it though is just the poster, basically the hunched over monster.
Yeah, let's put it this way: it looks better on the poster than it does in the movie.
I used to always look at that poster again in the video shop as like a little kid and be like, yeah.
It's fine, but it's not great. It's not great. I can see why after that Clive Barker was like, I need to fucking just direct my own movies.
Yeah.
Because there's one other movie as well before that, like Transmutations or something, that's based on one of his books, and it's just the things I've read over the years, just like the disappointment of that and Rawhead Rex was basically what made him direct Hellraiser, because he was sick of people taking his stories and messing them up pretty much. Critters, 86.
Yeah, it's mad that I don't know. I almost missed Critters that it was out in 86. I kind of thought it was a bit later, because I feel like, I mean, I suppose it depends when it came out on VHS, but I feel like I saw it as soon as it came out on VHS. So I suppose, in the UK it could have come out in like 91 or something. Fucking mad. But I always have memories of being a bit older when I first saw it.
I've got distinct memories of you talking about it in first school.
Yeah, I guess. It's one of them weird things.
I always link Critters to you, so I just remember you talking about it all the time.
Yeah, I think I really did have a fascination with like little monsters and stuff as a kid. Yeah. Like Gremlins and Critters and stuff. That was
Munchies.
Like, Munchies. It's probably like my wheelhouse sort of stuff, like little monsters that can get you, basically. Yeah.
It's been a long time though since I've watched Critters. Like I was saying about Short Circuit, when I think of Critters, it's mainly Critters 2 I think of. Yeah,
with the babe and stuff, and the big critter ball, and it has like more visual gags and stuff, I guess. But I really enjoyed Critters. I think it was like creepy enough, like people living in the middle of nowhere and just fucking little things out in the darkness and stuff.
Yeah. That's another series we should probably do a show on at some point. I think honestly we've been saying that for about 7 years now with Critters. We'd do the whole series, because I've never seen 3 or 4, so...
Critters in space. Brad Dourif.
Oh yeah, it's Brad Dourif's now, isn't he? Yeah. And you got fucking Leonardo DiCaprio in the 3rd one.
For some reason Brad Dourif always comes back for the 4th movie, like he did in Aliens and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, do you need to do a 4th movie in space? I'm there for it.
Unless it's Child's Play, he only does sequels after 2. Like, I'll do Exorcist 3, I'll do Critters 4. I do have... This probably could have went in other, but I've got Blue Velvet and horror, because it's kind of horror. It's horrific, so I put it... For some reason, next on my list is Platoon. I don't know why the fuck I put Platoon in horror.
Horror?
Yeah.
Because war is...
The horrors of war. But you haven't seen Blue Velvet, so no. I won't go too far into it, but it's a very good movie, very dark movie, obviously. Very good, insane performance from Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
I would believe, if I didn't know who Dennis Hopper was and just saw that movie, I'd be like, I bet he's mental in real life. But yeah, very good.
Be wrong.
No, not really. No, he was a bit of a crazy bugger back in his heyday of cocaine and stuff.
Allegedly.
I can say that. He's not here anymore, and he's blatantly talked about it.
Yeah, yes, actually. Yeah.
Chopping Mall, which we reviewed with Stacey a year or 2 ago, I think.
Yeah, it's a fond place in my memory just for that, basically. It's one of them films, sadly, that wasn't quite shit enough to be funny. It was one of them movies where it just kind of played it safe. There was a few moments that
there was a few moments. Like the bit where the girl, like, you don't expect it to be... It seems like it's going to be one of those movies that's not especially gory or insane, and then one second later a girl's head explodes and you're like, okay.
Like they just spent all the budget on that one bit.
Yeah, because I remember it like taking a while to get going.
Yeah.
There was a lot of just people standing around filling up time talking, and then all of a sudden a robot blew up a woman's head, and I was like, there you go, that's more like it.
That's the admission price, basically.
Yeah.
Just that scene.
A vampire movie in 86, Vamp. With Grace Jones as a terrifying vampire, as you can imagine.
Just Grace Jones, basically.
Yeah. Shouldn't really have to do much apart from just banging some fake teeth and just it's just already scary, you know what I mean? It's Grace Jones. But that's a fun movie. It's one no one really talks about.
Yeah, I'd like vampire movies as much as the next person. I've not seen it.
It's just the one from the 80s. Like, people always talk about Lost Boys, obviously, and Fright Night and Near Dark, but Vamp always gets forgotten about. And it's pretty decent. Yeah, I was surprised when I saw how much I liked it. Yeah,
there's a few, like you said, the good thing about doing these shows is like taking note of films, and there's a few like horror films I was like, I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah. Last one, it's kind of a horror movie in the sense of Blue Velvet is, because it's horrific. Combat Shock, which is kind of like a low budget. It's like a Razorhead mixed with Taxi Driver. Not a Razorhead in that it's surreal, but it's about a guy who's like he's got a deformed baby, and it's a very bizarre, dark film.
Yeah.
I'd recommend it.
Give it a watch.
Yeah. I think Arrow released it back in the day, but it was early on. It was like just on DVD.
Yeah.
I don't think it's had a release since then over here, sadly. So any other missed for horror that you want to mention?
Crawl Space, which I think I talked about.
Yeah, I was going to note that down because I do remember you talking about that. That one with fucking Klaus Kinski.
Yeah, he was just like a massive bastard the entire time. Like,
when was he not?
I know, but I think it was like that's the movie where the director was like close to. Like, I think he contemplated getting him killed or something. Or
I know Werner Herzog's almost had him killed a few times. I think he's actually went to his house and went to kill him. He's just admitted freely.
He sounds like a very hard person to work with.
Oh, he just seemed like a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's like a diva actor. Fucking just like the whole like nightmare situation.
I think he was a genuine psychopath.
Yeah.
And then the stories that his daughters, like that he was kind of, abusive with his daughters and shit, which I'm just like, Jesus, just the whole fucking gamut there, just being a horrible bastard.
And you know what? It probably comes through in the camera because like he's very unnerving in the movie and stuff, which is good for the movie, I guess. That he's like such a believable fucking creepy guy.
I'm sure so. It is always good when like you get in the editing room, you go, it's kind of worth it, I guess.
I've just endured a year of hell, but here we go.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen this, admittedly, so I can't go into it too much, but From Beyond with Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah, I've never seen From Beyond. I've always meant to because I love Reanimator, and that was kind of the follow-up that all did, but I've never seen From Beyond. Just
know there's some like crazy like monster moments in the movie and stuff from memory.
Once again, it's just doing these years. Just always has to go back to video shop memories. Always remember the video box to From Beyond, freaking us out with the guy's face like melting off to the side.
Yeah, very very iconic.
Yeah.
Less so, but iconic. But Maximum Overdrive, the Stephen King movie.
That was 86. I missed that. Yeah.
Emilio Estevez. Vehicles gone rogue, which was just like a trend in the 80s. Basically, it was either animals or vehicles.
I think this was a few years ago now, but did you say someone just found the front of the Green Goblin truck just like in a forest somewhere?
Jesus.
Thinking it was the actual one from the movie. It was just dumped somewhere in like Tennessee or something.
It's like a tax write-off. They just tossed it or something. I don't know. Weird.
I would have had that straight away around the back of a truck.
Again, though, Maximum Overdrive has a good trailer. I watched that as well before and was like, ooh. I was in the mood to watch it.
I remember enjoying that a lot when I was younger, when I first saw it. Yeah. Going through that phase of like, you see The Shining, then you just rent any of the Stephen King movies you can and stuff. And then he directed that one, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Is that his only directing credit? I think it is.
Yeah, probably actually thinking about it, yeah. Although, there's probably one more, to be fair. I'm sure we've forgotten something.
He may have done an episode of something, but I think that's his only feature directing credit.
But speaking of Emilio Estevez and dodgy horror movies, segueing onto his brother. I've not seen this, but it did fascinate us watching the trailer. The Wraith.
The Wraith. Yeah.
And Randy Quaid.
Yeah, I watched a bit of that when it was on TV a few years ago. Yeah.
Interesting. I hadn't heard of it before I was looking down the list, and again watched the trailer for it and was like,
Yeah, it's an odd plot, isn't it? Yeah.
It looks suitably shit.
He's like some sort of space vigilante or something.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like The Crow, but with like a futuristic twist, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like a biker gang have killed either him or somebody else, and he's out for revenge. Yeah, interesting. I'll definitely have to check it out just to see what a young Charlie Sheen playing the Wraith is like. Surely it's got to be terrible.
It seemed okay from what I watched of it.
It's just interesting that Charlie Sheen is barely in the trailer. It's like, did they just like not like his performance or something?
I think that was probably his first lead role, I guess.
Yeah.
Although no, because fuck, if that's the same year as Platoon.
Yeah.
What a crazy 1-2 punch that is, the Wraith of Platoon.
It was probably made in like 1983 or something.
And they just like held it off and were like, oh, Platoon's coming out, it's probably big Oscar buzz, get the Wraith out.
Exactly. He'll have seen that movie had surfaced and he's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Just like fucking when the quickly released like Chainsaw Massacre 4 when like Jerry Maguire came out.
Yeah, true.
Because Renee Zellweger's in it and they're like, fuck, put an injunction on him quick.
And try and stop it.
Yeah. So is that it for horror?
Well, speaking of which, did Texas Chainsaw come out? Texas Chainsaw 2?
Fuck me.
86.
How the fuck did I forget about that? Yeah, Texas Chainsaw 2. Yeah, fuck. Yeah, I love Chainsaw 2. It's very silly. But I like it. I just like the fact that Toby Hooper waited it that long to do a sequel and then just did a sequel like that. He didn't go, well, I'll give them what they want. He's like, no, fuck off, I'm doing what I want.
Yeah, like, how do you get a movie made like that? Like,
Canon.
Yeah, I guess.
Canon are like, we want the Chainsaw 2.
Like, they just didn't read the script or something. They were like, here's money, whatever, just make it.
Yeah, Bill Moseley's, iconic chop top performance and stuff.
Yeah.
Jim Sider gets a lot more to do as the cook, and there you get some great lines.
Yeah, I suppose it cements the family and stuff, doesn't it? Basically, the second one, the crazy family sort of idea.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's just a big goofy comedy though. Yeah, it's just fun. It's got some great gore, some great Tom Savini gore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. 3's okay, and 4 is just the pilot shit, and then the rest of them are just all interchangeable at this point.
Kind of not so much with Psycho where you have diminishing returns. With that, it's like a sudden drop off. Basically, with Texas Chainsaw, you go from kind of fun, little bit ropey, and then just straight to unwatchable and bad.
I just I forget now how many of them there are because of the there's 3. And then there's the Next Generation one with Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey. Mm-hmm. Then they did the remake. Then they did a prequel to the remake. Yeah. And then they did Texas Chainsaw 3D. Then they did a prequel called Leatherface. And then there was Texas Chainsaw what was it just called? Chainsaw Massacre that came out on Netflix? I don't know. There's just I don't know which ones now are sequels to what. It's just fucking... It's total a mess. It's a complete mess. And I think they're doing another one.
Oh, Jesus. Of course they will. They'll always do another one.
Yeah.
Shit like that. Yeah.
So that's it then for horror.
Yes.
On to other /comedy/drama.
Just everything else.
Pretty much. Crocodile Dundee, which was number 2 in highest grossing movies of the year. That movie was freaking huge. Literally made Paul Hogan a household name overnight.
I should have looked at this before it came on. Was it bigger in the UK than in America? I kind of feel like it might have been.
It might have been, yeah.
We fucking loved that movie in the UK.
Oh, yeah. That was one of those films I've mentioned before that I would just watch every night. It was the Goonies, Teen Wolf, and Crocodile Dundee are the ones I can remember that I would just be like, oh, time for Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, classic. I love movies where it's fish out of water.
That's probably the ultimate fish out of water movie, I would say. As far as just nailing it and getting it right. Yeah. And I rewatched it again just a few years ago, and it still holds up 100%. It's still really funny. Still works. Yeah.
I always forget. Are we allowed to like him? Did he get through everything unscathed?
I'm not sure. I've read a story about one of those what's the most awkward encounter with a celebrity threads on Reddit. So you got to take them with a pinch of salt. Yeah. But there's one story that he met him in some bar, and then Paul Hogan just basically stole his date and went off and shagged her in his hotel room.
What am I?
And I'm like, yeah, I could probably see him doing that.
I quickly googled he's financial stuff basically, so it's okay. Yeah, he had lots of tax problems, didn't he? Where he owed the government a shit ton of money. The Australian government.
Cheeky
he
buddy.
He didn't pay his dues, basically.
Cheeky mongrel, it is.
Cheeky mongrel. Yeah. So we're allowed to him. Hey, rejoice.
Good. He hasn't been cancelled.
He wasn't Me Too'd or anything.
A movie that is well regarded, but no one talks about for some reason. At Close Range with Sean Penn, Christopher Walken. That's a great film. I watched it just on a whim a few years ago and was like, Christopher Walken, never seen this, never heard of it. It's such a good... It's based on a true story as well. So it's a very bleak film, but a very good film. Walken, as you'd expect... Terrifying.
Yeah, Christ, what a parent.
The story's basically he's because Chris Penn's in it as well, playing Sean Penn's brother. I think that's the only time they've ever played brothers in a movie, from what I remember. Walken plays their estranged dad who comes back into their life after years, and he's a bit of a skeezy criminal. And it just gets worse from there.
Interesting.
It's a very good film though.
Yeah.
Pretty in Pink next. Yeah. I like Pretty in Pink.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's probably the lesser of the movies that I've seen of his and stuff. And yeah, good stuff.
Good old Harry Dean Stanton as a nice dad down his luck and stuff.
Yeah.
Looking the same as he did before he died. That guy just stopped aging in 1977.
It's just nope, not doing that anymore.
He just matured and just stopped aging. He got to about 30, he looked about 60, and that was it for the rest of his life. But yeah, I like Pretty in Pink. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's just difficult. Like I said, it's difficult because I've not seen it in so bloody long, so I literally can't say anything about it. But
Ferris Bueller's Day Off, another John Hughes movie in the in '86. He didn't direct Pretty in Pink, but he wrote it.
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off, definitely high up in, at least of his teen movies. It's probably number one.
Yeah.
That or Weird Science.
Again, I suppose, was it more popular in America, that one, than over here? Oh, I wonder.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it was quite, because I remember hearing about it in first school.
Yeah.
Like from Stay.
Yeah.
So it was definitely going around, like, kids were watching it when we were kids.
It's just weird, like, it's one of them films that, like, I wasn't really aware of it, me personally, as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But I was massively aware of, like, the music and stuff, and you know, like, the main song.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just kind of weird how, like, stuff like that, like cultural osmosis, like, things seep into, like, people's lives even though they don't know. I think when I finally watched the movie and I was like, oh, right, that's what that song's from.
Yeah,
What the fuck? Weird.
It's a very good movie, though.
Yeah.
The Money Pit.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks, Shelley Long. Was it Shelley Long?
Yeah.
Shelley Long.
I really liked that as a kid, actually.
Yeah, I always loved the bit where he just gets stuck in the carpet.
Yeah, and slowly sinks in. Yeah, it was a great time during the 80s for like movies like that were like, you know, just like a straight. There's always like a main hook, and it's like, you know, like K9 and stuff like that, where it's about something, and it's just like a really like unusual comedy. It's just something that doesn't happen anymore. Like imagine like a film like that being in a cinema like these days. It just wouldn't happen.
That would be a Netflix movie. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Heartbreak Ridge with Clint Eastwood. You seen that one?
I have not, no.
That's a good one, where he plays like a drill sergeant, like whipping a bunch of shitheads into shape and stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of a more light-hearted Full Metal Jacket.
Less suicide.
Yeah, definitely less suicide, yeah. The Three Amigos. John Landis, Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, Martin Short. I was shocked when I was reading that Wild Crazy Guys book that this was Martin Short's first ever movie. For some reason, to me, I was like, that can't be true. But yeah, think about 86.
Yeah, I suppose pretty early, like, because I guess like when was Inner Space?
I think it was the next year.
Yeah, like that's his like big break, basically.
Yeah, his big solo movie.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to watch that again recently, Inner Space. I haven't seen it for years.
Yeah, I've gone back to that a few times. To be fair, yeah, that's another one for the show.
Yep, definitely. But yeah, The Three Amigos, a lot of fun. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's been ages since I've seen The Three Amigos, to be fair. Yeah, another movie I should watch.
It's been that long. It's definitely less time than since I've seen Inner Space. But yeah, you should give that a rewatch.
Yeah.
Platoon, I've never seen Platoon. It's one of the big war movies I've never seen.
I did go through a phase. I think like when Hot Toys were doing Platoon figures, I like watched it because of that.
Fucking figure research. Do I want a figure of this movie?
And yeah, I remember like quite enjoying it.
The only memory I have of it, and it's probably what put us off watching it for years, was being at my uncle's house when I was like 9, and thinking about it, he would have been like 22. And he was like, "Oh, have you seen Platoon?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Oh, watch this bit," and he just showed us the bit where, like, I don't know which character it is, just caves a Vietnamese guy's head in with like the butt of his shotgun, and my uncle was like laughing. And I was like, "This is so unsettling and disturbing." I'm like, "This isn't funny."
Just a little kid watching it.
So yeah, that's my Platoon story.
There you go.
And me dodgy uncle.
Just showing like inappropriate violence to you, like without context.
He's like, "Oh, do you not like? Do you like UFC Cannibal Holocaust?"
You like the turtles, do you?
Oh yeah, you like Ninja Turtles? Watch this. Stand By Me, very good. One of the best films of the year, I would say, as far as just pure drama goes.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it. You know,
really, fucking hell.
It's one of the films I'm like, nah.
Yeah, that watch. That's one of those films that you'd watch now and go, okay, you'd see where the things that have been used in countless other movies come from.
Yeah. It's like the first time you watch like a Dirty Harry movie or something and your mind's blown.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, like
this is where it starts. And sequels, Karate Kid Part 2.
Yes. Yeah. Not a bad sequel.
No, it's the best of the sequel.
Yeah. Again, diminishing returns. In like equal amounts as you go through them.
I like the second one because it's more they did the right thing and they made it more like Miyagi's movie instead of just doing like they did with the third one, which is like, oh, it's another fucking Cobra Kai guy, it's another tournament. It just feels like the first movie again, but this one's a bit more dramatic.
Yeah,
And
I'm trying to remember, is it like somebody's family dies or something?
his dad's dying, and then he goes back home, and that guy that just fucking can't let it lie still wants to fight with him like 50 years later. It's decent. That's a good sequel.
Yeah, definitely.
Any more I missed? Any more like other comedy / dramas?
Let's have a look. Not that I've seen it, but talk about movie posters that you saw everywhere. Jumpin' Jack Flash.
I've seen that. I saw that when I was young. Rented that from the video shop. Can't remember it, but I don't remember hearing it. Put it that way.
Yeah, you know, you're always safe with like Whoopi Goldberg back then, really, weren't you? And stuff. But like that trailer of her like spread eagled, the poster.
Yeah,
that was one that was like always about.
Didn't you have that poster for some reason?
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah,
like just a random one from VJ's.
Yeah, they just got it free or something. Was like, okay. And so like Police Academy 3 back in training.
Oh yeah. I knew there'd be a Police Academy movie. I missed it.
There's always a Police Academy movie.
Pretty sure there was one a year for like 5 year span in the 80s.
Just churning them out.
Yeah. If you asked me what's a scene from Police Academy 3, I'd be like, I don't know. I'd probably name a one from 2, 3, or 4.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Shit, I meant to note that down. I haven't seen that for years. I saw it when I was a kid. I think I would appreciate it obviously a lot more now.
Yeah, no, it's really good. Yeah, really good. Like Rick Moranis is just like smashes it basically in that movie. Really good.
That was pretty much like his big first solo movie, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Little Shop Horrors, yeah.
Yeah, I watched it fairly recently and really enjoyed it. So I highly recommend that.
Yeah,
it's aged really well.
Yeah, I can imagine, yeah. It's got everyone in there, like Bill Murray, Steve Martin, got small roles and stuff.
Yeah, crazy cast, Labyrinth.
Shit, yeah, that was. I've done a shit job with this list. I'm just missing off like absolute classics and shit.
Yeah, a film I watch like every other year, pretty much. Just one of the movies that like I was obsessed with it as a kid.
That's one that I think I've just always left in the past.
Yeah.
Me growing up, my disdain for musicals just gets stronger and stronger each year. So I'm just like, I don't want to go back and be like, I fucking hate Labyrinth. Stop singing. Have you seen puppets? Have you seen that clip going around of a screening of that new Mean Girls remake? Well, like
no.
it seems like everyone in the cinema did not know it was a musical.
Oh no!
And then there's a bit where like the lights dim in the scene and she starts singing, and the whole audience just goes, "No!" It's so funny.
Mad. I'll have to watch out for it.
That's me with every musical. Even if I know it's a musical, as soon as I start singing, I'm like, oh, just fucking put a gun to me head.
You kind of give Labyrinth a free pass, though. I mean, come on, Bowie and stuff.
Just for Bowie and his giant penis.
It's stuffed a sock down there. Although the bile accounts he does.
Bile accounts, no. It's just his massive elephant penis.
But yeah, I love it. I think it's probably one of the movies that, like, if young people watched it now, they would probably think, "What the fuck is this film?" But it's the nostalgia is strong for me with Labyrinth.
I will watch it again someday, I'm sure. Yeah.
I just wanted to talk about this only because it was one of them weird movies again that was kind of everywhere and for like no reason at all. The Boy Who Could Fly.
Oh, was that 86? I used to love that film. I wanted to like be Fred Savage in that movie when I was a kid.
It's one of the movies that just was, people had it and stuff, and people like offering, like, oh, do you want to come around and watch The Boy Who Could Fly and stuff? Like, the fuck? Why that film? Weird. Just had mad distribution rights. It was like they were giving them away on street corners or something. Yeah,
weirdly prevalent in my childhood, that movie. I watched it a lot. Yeah.
And he flies right at the end of the movie or some shit. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think he does. Yeah, I just always liked that like 4-wheeler like trike go-kart thing that Fred Savage had. I was like, I want that.
Yeah, strange movie.
And the scene where he confronts his bully by like filling his water pistol with piss and shoots him in the face. That was another bit where I was like, I'm going to fucking do that someday.
Get a criminal record.
Yeah, someone's getting a face full of hot piss from an Uzi.
A couple of kids' movies just to wrap up. American Tail.
Never seen it. Never seen it.
It's got singing in it, so
Yeah, well, there you go. I'm never going to watch it.
But yeah, just one of them sort of big animation movies spawned like a whole series of films and sequels. And
did
stuff.
Spielberg have something to do with that?
Yeah,
produced it or something.
Like Spielberg Presents or something.
Yeah.
And Transformers the movie came out in '86.
Jesus, so it did. Yeah.
The toy craze had really bitten in. It's because I think it was bigger in America, this film, because I think like Transformers was a movie that like I saw a lot later, like more towards like 89, 90 or something.
Yeah, I honestly feel like I just totally missed Transformers when I was a kid. I had some like hand-me-down Transformers toys from my brother, but I don't remember ever seeing the cartoon on TV or anything. So.
Yeah. It just like it wasn't massively prevalent on any like morning programs or anything.
No, I don't remember seeing it. Yeah, maybe it was we just missed it or something. I don't know.
I think the toys were like always like kind of just like expensive, like in comparison to like He-Man and Turtles and all that sort of stuff floating around at the time.
I think the only reason I used to play with one of them was because it was the one that turned into a gun.
Yeah.
I was like, I like that one.
You just want it for the gun, basically.
Yeah, I would just never transform it. It was always just a gun.
And Care Bears the movie. Part 2.
Part 2, fuck me.
Subtitled A New Generation. I just wrote that one down because it made us laugh, the subtitle.
And then Care Bears 3, The Deadly Art of Illusion.
I love it when people just give like unnecessary subtitles to like these movies and stuff.
Yeah, it can't be a good wanky subtitle.
Like, just call it Care Bears 2 for fuck's sake. It doesn't need another
Care Bears 2, The Return.
Yeah.
So we've got Hong Kong, but before that we'll do what the top 10 of the year was.
Yes.
So 10 was Ferris Bueller's Day Off. 9, Ruthless People, which I've never seen. That's one I haven't seen. 8, The Golden Child. So not terrible, but not like Beverly Hills Cop, which fucking trounced Ghostbusters in '84.
I think basically it's on that list there because of Eddie Murphy, basically.
Oh, of course, people just want Freddie Murphy. Yeah. 7, Aliens. 6, Back to School, another classic 80s comedy I've never seen with Rodney Dangerfield. 5, Star Trek 4. 4, Karate Kid 2. 3, Platoon. 2, Crocodile Dundee, and 1, of course, Top Gun.
What a crazy year, though. What crazy.
Yeah. It's a very, like, when you think 80s, that's just a classic 80s top 10, isn't it?
Yeah, packed summer.
A Star Trek movie, a Karate Kid movie, Crocodile Dundee, Top Gun, Aliens. I mean,
it's kind
Ferris
of mad,
Bueller.
really. It's mad that, like, in that top 10, a lot of genres are kind of covered off there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not just, like, all action movies or something. You've got a bit of sci-fi. You've got, like, kind of kids movie and Karate Kid and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
comedies, war movies, sci-fi.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, you don't see that anymore.
Nope. Don't get me started on a Marvel rant.
We'll quickly go through Hong Kong. Of course, you had Better Tomorrow.
Yeah,
that we reviewed a few weeks ago.
That,
Heroes Shed No Tears, which was, like we said, was like released, brought out of mothballs to cash in on. Better Tomorrow being a big hit. Right and Wrongs with Yoon Bio and Cynthia Rothrock. That's it's a cracking action movie.
Yeah,
we watched that last time. Not last time, was it yours? But a year or two ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Royal Warriors, which is the second in the line of duty movies with Michelle Yeoh. I watched that for the first time recently. It's very fun.
Did you?
Legacy of Rage, Brandon Lee's Hong Kong movie he did. I think it was the only one he did. Which I bought when that Medium Rare label released it with like the Bruce Lee movies and stuff. But I've seen it. I watched it when it like rented on video back like after like seeing Showdown Little Tokyo and stuff. But I can't really remember it. I've never rewatched the Blu-ray. We should probably review that at some point.
Yeah, probably should.
Rosa, which I have seen, but I can't remember. I think it's just the main thing I think to take away from it is it's got a fight with Yoon Bio and Dick Wei at the end, so I can recommend it based purely off that. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Any end fight with Dick Wei is worth it.
Armour of God was 86. I forgot to note that down.
Yeah. That's like peak Jackie Chan, basically.
Yeah, and the movie where he almost died.
Yeah, yeah, crazy stunt, like bloody just falling out the tree right on his head.
Yeah. It always confused me, that story, for years, though, but it just kind of shows how like mental Jackie Chan is, because I was like, but he makes the jump in the movie. It's because he wasn't satisfied with the takes. He did it again, nearly killed himself. But when he was editing, he was like, oh yeah, that was fine.
I shouldn't have done that.
Shouldn't have done that, stupid. I think we always disagree. Not disagree, but I think you always preferred Operation Condor over the first one.
Yeah. Just because of it feels like a tighter sort of movie. The comedy's there.
It certainly
more,
feels grander, I think.
And like international and all. I love all the stuff in the desert and stuff and that. And,
I'm assuming, like, I've never seen him mention this, but I'm assuming Operation Condor is probably the movie Jackie had in his mind when he was making Armour of God. Like, he wanted it to be that big, but it doesn't really feel as big as Operation Condor, does it?
No. But still, like, massively iconic, like Armour of God, I think. Like the Amazons and stuff.
Oh, that's one of my favourite Jackie fights, Just a great fight, but it's also really fucking funny as well. Just the moment where he gets the stiletto up the arse. Just a little run. Mr. Vampire 2, the only Mr. Vampire movie I've ever seen. I've never seen the original.
Good. Yeah, I think I'd see that just because I got it on DVD. I think it was during the phase of buying them all on DVD, like as soon as they were released. Because Hong Kong Legends?
Yeah, I think Hong Kong Legends put the first one out.
Yeah.
Here's a film I've seen the fight scenes from it. I've always said the film is kind of cheesy and a bit shit, but the fighting's amazing. Magic Crystal. So it's a crazy all-star cast. It's got, I think it's the... Well, it was Millionaire's Express was the same year, but it might be the first time Cynthia Rothrock and Richard Norton were in a movie together. Maybe made just before, just after. But yeah, it's got Andy Lau in it, directed by Wong Jing, so it's very silly. Yeah. But the action's like amazing in it. Yeah. I think 88 Films put it out a couple of months ago. Oh, it's coming out soon. One of the two.
Madcast.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, Millionaire's Express. A classic we've reviewed before.
Millionaires / Shanghai Express.
Yeah, always. It took us a long time to get used to calling it Millionaires Express because the video release over here was always Shanghai Express, and very weirdly marketed as a Cynthia Rothrock movie.
Her front and centre on the cover and stuff. Yeah, classic. I do love Millionaires Express though. It's one of my like favourite movies as well of Hong Kong.
It's a very good movie.
Yeah, just the comedy and stuff, the French farces that they do in the film. It's very, very good.
It's just crazy when you think about like the year after you would do Eastern Condos with essentially a lot of the same cast and just how different those movies are. Yeah. I guess I'll include this because it's a co-production, but No Retreat, No Surrender. As Sean Connery would say, No Retreat, No Surrender. It's a lot of fun. It's very, very camp, but it's, the first Van Damme role. It's got some good action in it.
Lots of sequels.
There's two. Two and three. Yeah, we watched them all at yours.
I was going to say,
Yeah, they're very fun. The first one's not my favourite. The first one, I like 2 and 3 better, but the first one's good for just being like, it's basically just like Hong Kong filmmakers going like, we could do this Karate Kid thing with better fight scenes, but we're going to go one further and have the ghost of Bruce Lee teach him martial arts. It's kind of tasteless, but
a bit on the nose.
So that's the movies. You did have some other stuff noted down that was notable in 1986.
Actually, I forgot as well. I've just noticed on my list. I did some notable anime stuff as well for Japan. Oh yeah. That were happening at the time. Dragon Ball had just started up as a TV show.
Jesus.
The animated Dragon Ball. Obviously, the manga was like predating 83 or something, but the cartoon series had started in 86. Similar Fist of the North Star as well. So first movie in 86.
Yeah.
Violence Jack.
Yeah, I was going to say I thought Violence Jack was 86. Yeah.
Studio Ghibli saw its first movie. That Castle in the Sky. Laputa Castle in the Sky. Never seen it, but obviously big moment for anime Studio Ghibli. The first Guyver movie, Guyver Out of Control, came out.
Oh yeah, like the sort of standalone movie. Then they did the series later. Yeah, I've always wanted to say that because I've always heard it's a more harsher version of the story.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you can get it online and stuff, but it's always like horrifically like uploaded and stuff. Yeah, like 240 and stuff.
Yeah, it seems to be like quite rare that now. I don't think it's ever had a re-release outside of video in Japan. Maybe I don't think it got a video release over here.
And then obviously, not anime wise, but just it caught my eye just when I was looking at Japanese stuff. Takeshi's Castle premiered in 1986 as well.
86, Jesus. Yeah, you know that's back on now. Like the new version's on Amazon. I still haven't got around to watching it yet.
Yeah, it won't be the same though, because
probably
like safety laws and stuff.
Yeah,
health and safety ruined it for everybody. But yeah, moving away from movies, video games. A bit of a funny time for video games in '86 because obviously we'd just gotten past the video game crash that was caused by Atari between '83 and '85. Yeah. So like everyone was sick of video games basically. But the NES did release it released in '85 in the US and '86 in the UK. So they were just starting to recover in '86. But the Commodore 64 reigned supreme in '86. Just because obviously I think home consoles had the market was just oversaturated. Everyone got sick to fuck. Atari ruined it for everyone by just releasing shite after shite after shite. And then everyone just turned to home computers, basically. Everyone was obsessed with, Macs and stuff like that.
Amigas.
Macintoshes.
When did Amiga come out?
Yeah, that's maybe a little bit later, or like a year after or something. Commodore 64, obviously, I think it came out in '83 as well. And
the Commodore 64 was one of those computers that, like, if you didn't have one, you at least knew someone who had one.
Yeah, and certainly in the UK, it was like unchallenged by '86. Really interesting that like. Computers were so popular to the point that, like, literally Nintendo released in Japan, like, they called it the Famicom, like the family computer.
Oh yeah,
because they didn't want to associate it with like it's a home console. So they just basically just bullshitted and went, oh, it's a family computer, and it's like it's not a computer at all though. It's a console. Just really interesting that like market.
I didn't realise that's why it was called that.
Yeah, they were just nervous about releasing it as a games console, and then in a similar vein, when they released it in America, they were like, well, everybody like hates consoles and stuff, so we'll call it the Nintendo Entertainment System. Yeah. So just a bit of like smoke and mirrors basically to get it popular again. So yeah, really interesting time for video games. Just before Nintendo went into the stratosphere with like I think Zelda came out in Japan in '86. So it was right at the the birth of Nintendo basically. Yeah. TV stuff, just to fly through it. DJ Cat Show started in '86.
That's mental to think because it's one of those things I always forget. I don't think I actually knew until I just stumbled across an old like show reel for Sky on YouTube from like 1986, back when it was just the Sky Channel. All you had on Sky was basically what would become Sky One. Yeah, and just everything was on one channel. I was like 86.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
it was such like a niche thing until like the early 90s.
Yeah, and then obviously the like DJ Catcher it just spawned like all the like sub shows and stuff, didn't it? Pretty much all the like game shows and stuff.
I think so.
It was like linked to the DJ Cat Show or something from memory. Trapdoor, the obviously plasticine cartoon series that started in '86.
Classic theme tune.
Yeah, and just Burke and all that stuff. Obviously, Neighbours started in '86. At least it did in the UK. It might have started.
No, I think it was '86 in Australia as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So crazy.
Classic. Tea's ready. Neighbours on.
And speaking of classic TV shows that were big in the UK, London's Burning and Casualty both started in '86.
For some reason, I always thought London's Burning was a London's Burning was a '90s show.
Yeah, no, it started, '86. Jesus. Yeah, it was originally a TV movie and it spun off into a TV show. Bread came out in '86.
Bread, love Bread. Another classic theme tune.
Yeah, it's just crazy like TV. Yeah, Blackadder 2 came out. Alf for American audiences came out in '86. My favourite of the list, Catchphrase with Roy Walker.
Catchphrase
came out in '86. Say what you see.
Yeah, it's good, but it's not the one. Even though your answer was shit, mate.
So yeah, pretty interesting, like in terms of TV and stuff. It's just interesting to note though, like other things going on at the time that kind of feed into like I don't know, just a tumultuous time. Obviously, Chernobyl went critical and exploded in '86.
Was that '86?
Yeah.
I thought it was earlier for some reason. Yeah. I've never watched the show. You should brush up on my history.
So yeah, pretty fucked up time. Obviously, it's the year that the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded as well, killing all the astronauts.
Christ. Yeah.
So
everything happened in 1986.
Yeah, kind of a grim year. It's the year that mad cow disease was first detected in the UK. Late in the year.
Christ, I didn't realise it was that early.
Yeah, it was like the first recorded case happened towards the end of '86.
I remember it really kicking off when we were in middle school.
Yeah. I think it's one of them like COVID sort of deals where people knew about it for ages and it just slowly built up until you couldn't ignore the problem anymore. Basically. Yeah, crazy. And some positivity though, like America did the Hands Across America charity thing, where 6 million people joined hands and raised lots of money for charity or whatever. So
meanwhile, we didn't realise there was a layer of duplicate humans living under the ground, just like the movie.
Yeah, like, just crazy, though. Music-wise, so obviously, just film-wise, just shows like how prevalent films were in the music industry back then. Take My Breath Away, the Top Gun, massive in the charts. The Power of Love from Back to the Future was still like in the top charts.
Crazy.
A Kind of Magic from Highlander. Mm-hmm. And Burning Heart from Rocky IV, and Glory of Love from Karate Kid Part 2.
I was glad you said that. I was like, don't forget about Karate Kid 2's banger.
So yeah, it's just really cool how synonymous cinema could be with the charts, basically, music.
I mean, I miss songs linked to movies. Like, we've mentioned this before, but like, I can't remember the last time a song was like marketed with a movie that had like a specially made music video. Like, I always say the last big one I can think of was the Puff Daddy Godzilla the Kashmir fucking song, and I can't remember one that was probably like, if Men in Black came after that, probably Men in Black, that type of thing. But just never happens anymore.
The only sort of holdover from that is the Bond movies. They're the only ones that kind of continued it,
because they kind of started, I suppose.
But yeah, it is mad because like Prince of Thieves and Bryan Adams and stuff, it's so synonymous, some of these movie soundtracks and stuff. So yeah, it's mad that that's kind of gone away.
That's the one you just couldn't escape, though. The Bryan Adams song.
It's like number one for like 4 years or something.
Yeah, which one was the one? Was it that, or was it the Wet, Wet, Wet one from Four Winds and a Funeral that they took off the charts because they were sick of it? They were like, we're going to not sell it anymore, because they wanted to give people the chance. I think people were like, all right, man, that's enough. That's enough. We're sick of it.
Crazy. Just people just kept buying it. Like, who didn't own it at that time? Crazy.
What's like that thing about the Black Album, Metallica's Black Album, that still sells like 1 million copies a year or something? God. And like, even Lars has said, like, who the fuck just bought the Black Album yesterday?
I guess just people up and coming, young'uns and stuff.
It's crazy.
There's always an audience out there. Moving away from movies though, just to wrap it up music wise, the biggest hit of the year was the Communards' Don't Leave Me This Way in '86, apparently.
Yeah, well, I guess that's for UK, right? Or was that American?
I think it's worldwide, that one. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, from what I could see. But UK-wise, Cliff Richards and the Young Ones, Live and Dull.
Oh, was that '86? Yeah, Jesus Christ.
So that was like a massive thing.
I did like that when I was really young. I thought it was funny, because I got watching the Young Ones when I was like 4. Probably shouldn't have.
So inappropriate. And like not getting like half of the jokes.
And being like weirdly like freaked out by some of it and stuff as well.
Yeah, it always had a bit of a weird edge, like Vivian getting his head knocked off. And
stuff. That bit terrified me when I was a kid. I don't want to watch this stupid show anymore.
Krista Berg, Lady in Red. Big male singer, Billy Ocean, When the Going Gets Tough.
Speaking of Krista Berg, people like Krista Berg. Like, I miss the days when pop stars just looked like someone your dad knew from the pub. Like, you look at Krista Berg, like, compare him, like, nothing against Krista Berg, bless him, but I just like that, like, you didn't have to look like a pop star to be a pop star. You just had to have a good fucking song, you know what I mean?
Just a good voice, basically. Yeah. As it should be.
I love watching old Top of the Pops, and people just turn up there with like receding hairlines and fucking horrible moustaches and stuff. And you're like, that's a fucking pop star.
Yeah, it's just because radio was so big. I don't know.
Yeah,
people just got famous before like the TV people got to them. They're like, oh, this is what you look like. Oh fuck, it's too late.
They always have those like awkward album covers where they try to make them look sexy.
Put a hat on them. So yeah, that's about it anyway.
Sorry, I spoke of your last one there. What did you say, Billy Ocean?
Billy Ocean, it was big in the charts still, When the Going Gets Tough.
Oh yeah, from Jewel and Nile.
Yeah, I guess it must. I didn't look, but I guess it's probably like the year before or something.
It was 85.
Yeah, so it was still just doing the rounds in the charts.
That's one of those songs that like people forget is from a movie, like for a movie, because they're even all of them are in the music video and stuff.
Yeah,
it's just because like people always forget about that movie. It kind of overshadowed the movie, the song.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, that, isn't it? Yeah,
that's a banging tune though. It's a great tune.
Classic.
Also, speaking of Metallica, Master of Puppets was 86 as well.
No, was it?
Another big one. Yeah, considering like how popular that became over the past couple of years with Stranger Things and stuff.
Yeah. It's one of them. Yeah, I mean, what a mad year. I mean, obviously we've just talk through stuff that we're kind of interested in, caught our eyes, but there's just so much stuff that we haven't touched. Like 9.5 weeks, just off the top of my head. Like big Kim Basinger film and stuff.
I was surprised looking through like the top 50 or 100 of the year that how low down that was. I remember that, like growing up, we've seen it at the video shop and people talking about it. I figured that was quite a bigger hit than it was, but no.
Yeah, it's just tons, and obviously I've only scraped the surface of like music and stuff, and that is you could just go on. You could do a show about all the music that came out that year. Yeah. But I guess though it just goes to show just like how many fucking movies were coming out and how many good movies were coming out that not everything can be in the top 10. You know what I mean? So you look down the list and go, I thought that'd be a bigger hit, but it's not like people forgot about it. No, it's just things got pushed down.
So exactly.
There's so much stuff.
And the big film I've never seen, the big movie, the Oscars that year, was Out of Africa, Meryl Streep and Robert Redford movie.
Yeah, it's very like Oscars sort of choice.
Yeah. The Oscar noms for this year just got announced a couple hours ago.
Oh, did they? What is there? You've got a few. Rattle through.
Well, Paul Giamatti's been nominated for The Holdovers, and the actress who plays the cook, I can't remember her name, but she's been nominated for supporting actress.
Yeah,
hopefully,
hopefully
it's been nominated for best film as well.
Yeah, that scene got me a little bit at the party. Yeah, I was just like something in my eye.
Yeah. It's a very good. I hope that. I mean, it's really the only film I've seen that's been nominated, but I just hope it does. I hope it does well.
Yeah,
not that the Oscars mean not anything, but it'll get more people to see the movie that weren't asked before. That's always the good thing about the Oscars. Robert Downey Jr. and Cillian Murphy, for Oppenheimer, and Emily Blunt, all Oppenheimer. Nolan, Best Director, Best Film.
Well,
so we'll see.
Just men in suits stood about talking.
Men in suits stroking the chins.
No, thank you.
And 70mm.
I swear I'll never see that film.
Nah, I can't be arsed. I can't be arsed.
No.
I'd rather watch a documentary about the
Well, that's it. I really would. That isn't even irony for me.
No.
I'd rather watch a 2-hour documentary and actually learn something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, each to their own. He has a massive hardcore following, Chris Nolan.
Of course he does. Yeah.
And don't get us wrong, I love the Batman movies and stuff. But I just think if it's not Batman, it just bores the shit out of me. So, yeah.
Yes, the same here, and we're aware how like fucking schmah that makes us sound. It's not Batman.
Totally. Sat here with me Batman pajamas on and stuff.
Yeah. I like Memento. I think that's a great movie.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And I surprisingly enjoyed Inception when I finally watched it.
See, I thought I did, and then I tried rewatching it again and got like 10 minutes in and was just like, oh, fuck off.
That's enough.
That's enough. I just got my phone out, got on the internet, found out Christopher Nolan's like personal home phone number and rang him, and then was just like, that's enough. And just hung up on him.
And then he called him back a couple of minutes later and went, that's enough. Very good.
The Chris and Chris Show.
So we've been talking lately about changing the show up and maybe giving the show a fresh rebranding, a fresh name.
Fresh lick of paint.
Do you agree we should do this, sir?
Yes, I think we should. I think we should rebrand and lean into our champion gimmick.
Yeah, Jamie. Even though, like we said, it's kind of a gimmick off air.
Yeah, it really
we rarely
is.
say it on the show.
Yeah. How do we not say it on air? That's the weird thing.
I think we've said it now and then, but just not as often as we do. Because we always just say champion for things as a way to say something's good. Or now it's just become a greeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just, to be honest, since we changed the show to the Chris and Chris Show, like it's always bothered me. Like it's too much of a generic name. It sounds like it's going to be a show that's just about anything.
Yeah.
Like a morning radio show or something, which is kind of why I liked it. But it doesn't. Apart from seeing the logo with film strips, you wouldn't know it was a movie podcast, and that's always bothered us. So I wanted to have a new name that at least had film or cinema in the title.
Yeah, because I mean, let's face it, that's like what we stick to, basically, isn't it? As well.
Yeah.
It's not like we're going to deviate from it and suddenly start reviewing like Games Workshop and be like.
Don't give us any ideas for Patreon shows. Yes, we've decided to go with the name Champion Cinema, which I like. It's easy to remember. It's got the word cinema in it. It's most important. Yeah. and it'll give us an opportunity to say champion every week.
And hopefully get sponsorship by Champion Lager.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Oh, you genius.
Get right into them.
Badgers presents Champion Cinema. And they keep sending with crates and we just do the show rat-arsed every week.
Fucking works for me.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That's amazing. Hope that happens. So probably for the next show, we're going to rebrand and it will be Champion Cinema. So I'm going to have to go through the bollock aching task of changing the feed name, the iTunes list, and the fucking social media, and probably get another fucking email address.
Yeah.
The third podcast email address I've got now. I just fucking made the Chris and Chris show one like 3 months ago.
God, really?
Yeah, I was just using the old Wafu one.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I remember that, yeah.
We'll never get emails.
No. It's kind of sad.
No one likes us.
Like, essentially, we're rebranding to try and trick people into listening to us.
Yes, thinking it's a new show. And they're like, these fuckers. So yeah, that'll be next week, where we will be taking a look at, because there's been a lot of birthday boy directors this month, but we're going to be taking a look at Eastern Condos from Sammo Hung and They Live from old John Carpenter, who celebrated big birthdays this month.
A cool double bill, like movies that are always fun to come back to.
Definitely. So yeah, if you want to get in touch, tell us about your thoughts about Eastern Condos or They Live. I guess you can email us for the minute at thechrisandchrisshow@gmail.com.
Till we change it.
And follow us on Instagram at The Chris and Chris Show at Instagram, obviously.
On the grams.
Do it for the gram, as the kids used to say. I don't think they say that.
Do they not? Is it
No.
TikToks or something now?
I don't fucking know. I'm not getting a TikTok.
We've got to get on TikTok.
Apparently I should, but I draw the line at TikTok.
We've got to like donkey punch an old person and then like flip the show.
Just a prank, bro. So yeah, until then, folks, have a good one. I'll see you down the pit.
See you in a heap.
Bye.
The Chris and Chris Show.